My name is Sarah Fennessy. I am the high school math intervention teacher at the Metropolitan Learning Center, and this is my third year in this position. The high school math intervention program at MLC is mirrored after the SRBI triangle with the 3 different tiers of support. Tier 1 would be the regular ed math classroom instruction that students receive, which is primarily the responsibility of their classroom teacher. Tier 2 math intervention at MLC would be considered a push-in model, where we are adding additional support to the regular ed math classes. This support can be provided by myself, the math intervention teacher, a special ed teacher, an extra math teacher, and in some cases we even have seniors who are in the honors track come in to provide additional support for the students. The classes that are needing additional support are determined before the start of the school year by conversations that math teachers within the school have about identifying students who will need that extra support. I also spend a lot of time going through the students' standardized test scores and their previous math grades to determine which classes will be in need of the most support.
This would be 2 plus 3R. Because you gotta do 1 plus 1, that'll be 2.
Beautiful.
Then you gotta do 9 minus 6R. That'll be
Fantastic. Yep. Throughout the class, I monitor progress of those students within the class by weekly reviews of the teacher's gradebooks. With these reviews, I'm looking for students who may be failing or close to failing the class. I look for students who are missing homework assignments, students who may have poor test or quiz scores. And these students within those classes almost become a small caseload or target students that I'm making sure to interact with during every class period. And when you combined your like terms up here, all you did was add up your coefficients, those big numbers, right? So if a student in the Tier 2 classroom is still not able to succeed or making the growth that is expected for them with the extra support, that is then when I would move them to a Tier 3 level of support, which would be receiving extra support and instruction outside of their regularly scheduled math classes. This can occur during their focus studies. This can occur after school. This can occur on Saturdays. It can also happen during an academic period if the student has that. At MLC, the only students that would have an academic free period would be students who are identified with having special needs. So instead of going to an essential like gym or art, they would be attending extra math support or math intervention. Building relationships as an intervention teacher is probably the most important part of being a successful intervention teacher. You need to be someone that the kids want to come to for help, that they feel comfortable coming to. Without having a strong relationship with the students, they're not going to feel comfortable exposing their weaknesses to you and showing you what they don't know. So if you have that strong relationship, they will seek you out for help, whether it's in the classroom or coming to the outside additional hours. Before you can tell which one is the leading coefficient, what do you have to do?
You have to figure out, you have to put them in order.
What kind of order?
From greatest to least.
And what do we call that?
Standard form.
Nice. It also helps to have a strong relationship so the communication exists between the teacher and the student. This allows for the student to take on ownership of their progress. With good communication, I'm showing my Tier 3 students and even the kids who are struggling in Tier 2 what progress they're making. We're going through their gradebook with them. Why didn't you complete your homework? What led to this poor quiz grade? What can we do about it? It's about the students taking ownership. It's about the students realizing that a teacher is going to have the time to, keep their eye on every student. So a student can't slip by. A student can't fall in the cracks because there's that extra set of eyes watching and pushing and identifying those students who may slip by. I want you to rewrite these so it looks still like an algebraic expression, 6x plus 27, okay? Setting goals with my students is an extremely important part. Whether the goal would be to complete your homework tonight, or to complete your homework every single day this week, or that on this upcoming quiz on Friday, I know you can get an 80 on it. We set goals on a daily basis, weekly basis, and that constant communication helps us monitor their progress towards reaching their goals. The three greatest challenges of being an intervention teacher would first be scheduling. There's a lot of classes that would like additional support, but I make sure to keep my schedule contained, so I'm in whatever classrooms I'm in. I will be in those rooms at least 3 times a week. I need to be in there at least 3 times a week, so I am a constant present for the students and the teacher, so relationships can be built with the students and also with the teacher. Additionally, finding time to schedule Tier 3 support is extremely difficult. The only in-school time that I can really reach all students would be during their study hall. Outside of that, a lot of the additional instruction needs to occur either after school or on Saturdays, which is sometimes difficult for scheduling for me, sometimes for the students and their parents. Second challenge would be defining the interventions teacher's role in the classroom. What will I do? Who will I help? This just comes with time and with practice, and it varies in different classrooms. In some classrooms, I will just kind of be like that extra teacher who floats around and helps the students in need. Other classrooms, maybe the teacher and I will divide the class in half, and I will pull half of the class out and teach the same lesson that the regular classroom teacher is teaching, just with a smaller number of students. We can also run stations, so the role will vary. And also, one of the greatest challenges is managing the difference between being that person that they feel comfortable going to for extra help, but also holding that line of having high expectations. It's hard to walk into a classroom and not be the main disciplinarian from the get-go. So when I'm entering into a new room for the first, I would say, couple weeks, I am normally stepping back and slowly interjecting my presence in the room and building on my role, building on my discipline, building on my input. It's something that happens gradually over time. The last challenge, of course, would just be adjusting to the different classroom environments and teaching styles. I have to be able to fit the environment that the teacher has set up for the students and for the learning. And adjusting how I operate in the room, how I interact with the students and the teachers is an important key feature of being successful. Characteristics of a successful math intervention teacher or any intervention teacher would be the ability to be flexible and to adjust to various classroom settings and student needs. Motivated, someone who does not need constant supervision and constant direction. Someone who is able to identify students' needs and create structures and solutions to meet those needs. I think also one of the things that makes me successful is having a background in special ed and also the content area in which I'm working. Having a strong understanding of the content and a strong understanding of how to meet the needs of diverse learners really helps me to reach all students with the material that they need to know. At all levels of instruction, 3 universal teaching strategies that I have found to be the most effective and that I tend to use again and again would be the use of questioning, the use of scaffolding, and then additional practice with immediate personalized feedback for the students. Questioning I use when I immediately begin working with the student. Questioning helps me to identify where the students need help, where are there gaps in their learning. It also helps me to help the students connect what they may already know with the pieces that they are missing.
Now, Shreya, we're starting to get harder and harder. These ones, I'm putting some x to the second powers in, okay?
Right here.
Yep. Now that's good, but what did you forget to circle?
Oh, the sign in front of it.
Yep.
Once I've identified what the students know and what they need to know, I then use scaffolding. I scaffold their classroom material by maybe identifying similar items, similar questions that can be chunked together, so the students are practicing one isolated skill at a time. I may also model the skills and model a few problems that they need to be able to do on their own and gradually build them up to independence within the classroom. Once the students have been taken from what they know to what they need to know, I then provide them with additional practice that can either happen in the classroom or outside of the classroom. Along with that practice, it's very important to go through it and give the students individual feedback so they can notice where their mistakes are, so they can stop those mistakes from happening again and again.